The United Arab Emirates is leaving OPEC after 60 years in a move that could weaken the group's control over global oil supply. The UAE is OPEC's third largest producer and says it wants more flexibility as the war in Iran disrupts energy markets. UAE Energy Minister spoke with Bloomberg's Joumanna Bercetche about that decision.
The decision is taken at the right time in our view, because it's not going to hugely impact the market. The market is under supplied, and because of the unfortunate closure of the Strait of Hormuz and the level of inventories that we have unfortunately seeing the world go through this unprecedented time where the level of inventories are going down significantly, would require an extraordinary measures that, with the agility of UAE decision-making, we believe leaving the group now will enable us to attain to the market requirements at a pace that is appropriate from our point of view. And we don't want to be constrained by any other groups in taking that decision.
Joumanna joins us now from Dubai, and first of all, great get. I mean, my jaw dropped when I saw this headline across the Bloomberg terminal this morning, Joumanna, and I wonder what it means. Is it really about the UAE wanting to be able to produce more than its quota, or is it about a breakdown in the relationship between the Gulfies amidst the Iran war, or is it about a swap line provided, a dollar swap line provided by the U.S. in exchange for this?
Well, let's go by what the energy minister himself, Mr. Suhail Al-Mazrouei, told me. And essentially what he was saying, that this decision was not an easy decision, but it came after careful evaluation. Considering the market dynamics now, they thought that the timing was good because clearly the market is being undersupplied, and this decision would make less shockwaves to the market as such. Now, the backdrop to this, as you say, for many years now, there had been reports that there was a growing rift between some of the key producers, and UAE obviously standing out there because they had been pushing to increase their production. But the environment before the Iran war was very different than it is today. And of course, if you rewind 6 months ago, we were talking about this market being oversupplied to the tune of 1 million, 2 million even barrels per day. Today, we are in a very different situation where the estimate is that with the disruption around the Strait of Hormuz, you have anything between 10 to 12 million barrels a day of energy supplies that have been taken off the market. So the thinking there, at least in terms of timing, was that they could come out with this decision to leave OPEC without making a huge dent to the market. Now, as of today, they produce around 3.5 million barrels. They are targeting 5 million barrels a day by 2027. And one of the questions that I did put to the minister here is, once things normalize on the Strait, can we expect a huge uptick in production out of the UAE because they're no longer going to be constrained by this group? And he said, we have significant resources locally and globally, and we are not going to shock the market. Now, the second dimension to your question is perhaps the geopolitical considerations and the fact that in the past couple of months, we've been reporting this on Bloomberg, there has been somewhat of a growing rift between the UAE and Saudi Arabia, especially when it comes to some of the geopolitical dealings in the region, not only around the approach to the Iran war, but also with Sudan, with Yemen. So I asked the energy minister whether there was a political dimension to this decision. Here is what he said.
It has no political linkage. Our relationship with all of the producers will remain there. They are neighbors, they are partners in many shapes and forms. And as an active and a proactive producer, UAE will always be there. We're not disappearing from the market. We are a responsible producer. We just want to have the freedom to take the decisions that is required due to the situations that we are living in.
We just want to have the freedom to take the decisions that is required due to the situations that we are living in. So right now, and speaking to many energy experts, analysts, there isn't going to be an imminent impact on the market because the strait is still effectively shut. So the question is, what happens when things eventually normalize? Are we going to see a massive increase in output coming through, not just from the UAE, but from OPEC as well? Is there going to be a grab, so to speak, of market share? And then the other big question that we simply cannot answer yet, Matt, is what about the future of OPEC themselves? Because this is a really big blow to the group. UAE, certainly not the biggest producer, that is Saudi Arabia, but one of the most impactful producers of the group. It is a blow for their cohesion that they have decided to leave today, and it follows on the heels of other producers making a similar decision. Angola back in 2024, and of course Qatar did the same thing back in 2019, and back then it was also due to a growing rift with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.